Okay, thank you all for tuning in. First thing I need to do though is to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. So if you could let me know if you could hear me all right, that would be great. I'm in my barn with the doors shut, and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to move around much in here. So, I came out having one idea. I don't know if you guys saw the last little tidbit. This is take 2 on an attempt for a live video today. So if you saw the first tidbit, you kind of saw what I'm dealing with right now, and weather-wise. And so Annabelle has decided that today's going to be all about her. And I hope she demonstrates what I'm talking about. I'm sure she probably will. But I was planning to just go out and show you guys the horses. I divided my herd up last night because we got 2 feet of snow last night. So lots and lots of snow and lots of wind, and it's relatively warm. And when I say warm, I think it's like 38 degrees. So the snow is really heavy and packy right now, where last night it was probably in the 20s and it was blowing really hard. So Annabelle doesn't get a very good winter coat, okay? And as you can see, she's got Miss Kitty's blanket on right now. Now this is the first time Annabelle's ever had a blanket on in her life. And I'm a big advocate for just leaving horses in their natural state, and horses are meant to live outside kind of deal. We won't get into, if you leave your horses in stalls, I don't worry about any of that. What we're talking about is my horses and what I do with them right now. So, but anyway, Annabelle has really sensitive skin, and she really doesn't grow all that great of a winter coat as it is. Now, typically I don't have to worry about it. I wasn't worried about her all winter, and I typically don't have to worry about it unless we have freezing rain or really bad wind chill. Otherwise, she does just fine. But she has lost a lot of her winter coat already, a lot. And if you have horses, and if you have any horses that have white hair, you know that the white hair seems to shed faster than everything else. So Annabelle's mostly white, and I think it has something to do with the way that the light reflects off of it or something. That's what I've been told. So I'm not really positive on that, but that's why the white hair, or it absorbs the light or something to that extent. So, but anyway, Annabelle is kind of naked. So last night she was cold, and she was really wet. So instead of putting her back out in the field with the other horses, I put her in the paddock that Miss Kitty's been in. Okay, so I also had Muffin, Nika, Manzer, Bear, and Ona all over there. So Annabelle, I wasn't planning on putting Annabelle over there, but when I turned her out and saw her shivering last night, I'm like, yeah, she's got to go over there too. Now, when Annabelle's life changes at all, she gets real worried about it. She gets very worked up, and like beyond just what I can correct through training, okay? That's her mentality and her personality. But anyway, let me back up a little bit. So I put her out in the paddock last night, and there's a really big shelter over there, and all the hay can be in the shelter. That's great. She's going to pee on the floor right there. She's probably thinking, what is this thing that's holding my tail down? But it's not really holding her tail down. It just probably feels funny. So anyway, within about 15 minutes of her being in that shelter last night, my husband and I checked on her, and she was not shivering at all and was totally fine. So that's exactly what I like to see. But when I came out today, she was kind of standing out of the shelter, and so she was getting blown on and stuff, so she was cold again. But I figured, well, I have this blanket. It was Miss Kitty's, and she's the same size as Miss Kitty, so I went and grabbed it, and I tried to do a live stream just a little bit ago, and I was actually walking into the arena to get this blanket. So that's what I was going to do when my phone died. So I apologize, guys, for that last one. And then I brought the blanket down, put it on her, and I was going to show you guys all that, but oh well. So Annabelle's being really quiet right now, but just a little bit ago, and she'll probably get back to doing that again. Just a little bit ago, she was really dancing around. And we've been in here for about 20 minutes, I would say. So I brought Annabelle in here first and brushed her and put the blanket on her, and she's just having a fit the whole time. Now, I want to explain this kind of stuff in depth a little bit because a lot of people don't really understand. I'm going to move around a little bit here because I'm going to get my stool. I'm going to get comfortable here. This is my little stool I trim. It's all bent. My kids play on it like crazy. So, all right, I'm going to explain some things. Okay, so we're going to just sit here and watch Annabelle and observe, and I'm going to talk about her. She has issues being in a stall. She has issues being in a different location. The reason she's holding up that hind leg is because she's annoyed. That's her way of showing her frustration. So that left hind leg, she'll pick that up, and she'll actually pick up the right front one too, and she'll just kind of teeter there. This is anxiety over not being able to cope with the fact that she just has to stand there. She doesn't want to just stand here. And it's not that the other horses are in stalls eating their grain, because she was doing this the entire time that I had her in here. And now what she'll do is she'll stand real quiet for a moment. Sometimes she'll cock a hind foot and sort of act relaxed. And if I don't untie her right away, you know, within a minute or so, or actually 20 seconds or so, she'll go right back to dancing around. So what we've always done is we never untie this horse until she's quiet, all right? Until she stands. Well, what we used to do is we would wait until she stood for just a split second and then real quick put her out. She's trying so hard. That's great. All right. You know, and they always got to do that. And that's all part of being nervous, too. So you guys bear with me. I'm just going to put some pellets on it because that absorbs the liquid right away. These things are great. I really like these pellets. I get them from Tractor Supply, and they absorb everything right away, way better than shavings would. So I'm kind of low. Well, that's the rest of it. But these things are awesome, and within a couple minutes here, it'll absorb everything. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit. Okay, yeah, it works great for cat litter too, like someone else just mentioned that. All right, let's go back to Annabelle. So, every horse I own has taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot for everything, okay? I've learned how to raise my kids by working with horses for so many years. Horses have taught me so much about kids and dogs and cats and just other people in general. So with Annabelle, what I used to do is when she would start, oh gosh. Clover wants to say hi to everybody. what I used to do is I would wait for Annabelle. So I want you guys to watch, because we're going to use this as a teachable moment. Watch her when she goes back to like in the middle, and she'll stop. You see that right there? But she'll do it even longer though. She'll like kind of drop her head a smidge, and she'll maybe rest a foot a little bit. And sometimes she'll look at me. You'll see it, like not yet, but I'll show you the moment where I used to untie her. And I've changed the way I do things, and I'll explain why. So I used to wait for her body to be quiet, but the problem is her brain wasn't quiet yet. So you'll see her licking and chewing a little bit. Now she's gonna poop, that's great. This is what, the 6th time she's pooped? See, she'll stand here, she'll act real quiet, she'll cock a foot, you see that? She'll maybe look at me. This was the moment right here that I would untie her and put her away. You see that? That's the moment right there that I used to look for. But this is all just, she knows that if she does that, I will untie her and put her away. And it's almost like she has an internal clock that is counting the seconds down right now. She's like, wait a minute. But if you look at her eyes, she is physically quiet right now, but she is not emotionally quiet. Look at her eyes. Look at the way she's nervously licking her mouth. She's not licking and chewing in a comforting sort of way. She is licking and chewing in a nervous way, okay? She's doing it strictly because she thinks this is how she's gonna get put back out. So this is the moment where I used to take her and put her out immediately, but this horse is not emotionally ready, okay? So I'm gonna give you another example. All right, so Cinder, our puppy, she needs to learn how to sit in a kennel while I'm at work. And last night, she was in a kennel for a total of 2.5 to 3 hours. She went potty right before she got put in the kennel. And it was so we could do an Easter egg hunt and that kind of stuff with the kids and just kind of do our own thing. It's not bad for the puppy to be in a kennel, but we've all been home. We've had her for a month now, and we've all been home the entire time. So she's really not had to be in her kennel pretty much hardly at all besides in the evening. So last night, she was howling her little head off. She was quiet for part of the scavenger hunt and that kind of stuff, but we weren't ready to let her out yet. And then she was howling her little head off, very upset. She wanted to get out of the kennel. She wanted to be with us. She's with us all the time. And then she'd be quiet for about, 3, 4, 5 seconds, but then she'd go right back to howling again. So until that puppy was quiet and chill, I was not going to let her out. So I had some laundry to fold and stuff, so I took the puppy with me into my bedroom and I folded my laundry, and I just waited. She sat there and had an absolute conniption in her little kennel, but I was not going to take that puppy out until she relaxed and was quiet. So as soon as Cinder let out a little sigh and just kind of laid there quietly and relaxed for more than 10 seconds, I immediately let her out and loved on her and took her outside and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, when I took her outside, she got completely buried in the snow because we'd already gotten about a foot. But look at this nonsense. So you see, she was willing to stand there for, a minute? Maybe? A minute? But that's not the thing. I need this horse to stand longer than a minute. But I basically trained her that, okay, this is how long I stand quiet and then you turn me out. So what I need to do is I need to have this horse stand for longer periods of time, okay? It's the exact same thing as the puppy last night. So not a lot of people can handle dealing with this kind of stuff. You have to be very patient to deal with watching this kind of stuff. A lot of people want to jump to this animal's needs and cater to them. And what they're doing, okay, so Joanne, you're asking me about the blanket. The blanket has nothing to do with anything that's happening right now. This blanket, she doesn't care that there's a blanket. The blanket means nothing, period. This is total normal behavior of Annabelle. But what a lot of people would do would assume that since this animal is showing emotional distress, they would immediately jump to this animal's needs and be like, what can I do to help it? Does it want to be put outside? Does it want to eat? Should I give it a cookie? What can I do? This animal's not comfortable. Let's hurry up and get it comfortable. So what happens is the animal becomes worse because of that, okay? And somebody just said that I sound upset in the comments. No, I am just stating how important this is and how I screwed up so many times in my life. And I am trying to educate you on how important this is to watch for the horse's emotional change. Watch her eyes. Watch how she acts. See, she's going to rest the foot and she's going to try her 20-second deal again. And she's going to be like, if I stand here for 20 seconds and I keep looking back at you and I rest a foot, you're going to put me out. That's how I get out of this. But no, the deal is I'm going to sit and talk to you guys for however long I want to sit and talk. And this horse is going to stand here. And when she's quiet for longer than 20 seconds, did you see how long that lasted? It wasn't very long. Then I'm going to put her out. And this takes so much time. What I'm getting at here is I'm trying to explain that this is something that people really don't understand. And this horse is the one who picked what my topic for today's video is going to be. Yes, so this situation right now, it doesn't matter what the situation is. So Annabelle will act like this while she's tied to a trailer, while she's on a high line, while she's tied in the arena with a hay bag in front of her. Whether there's horses tied next to her or horses not tied next to her, she will just decide, I don't want to be here anymore. And so this is what she'll do, is have an absolute conniption. And how she learned that behavior to begin with, I don't know. I got this horse when she was probably 4 years old. I don't know what was done with her training-wise prior to that, but I can tell you that she had a lot of bad habits. So people ask me, well, why don't you rescue more horses? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why did you breed your mare when you could have gone and rescued a horse? Well, because I spend the rest of their life fixing their problems. I love the fact that I've had Manzer since the day he was born, and I've been able to just go right through the whole motions, and he's never had to suffer any emotional stress like this horse has. Even my mare Ona, my buckskin filly, she's over here. She had just lived out in a pasture her whole life. Not really been handled a whole lot. Nobody ever made any mistakes with her. That horse had no idea. She didn't know anything. Nothing. And she's standing in that stall so quiet. She was never in a stall until she came to my barn. Never. And see the yawning right there? That's stuff we watch for. But that's not relaxed yawning. That's still tension. She's got a lot of tension in her. So people think that, oh, my horse is yawning, they're licking and chewing, they're relaxing a hind foot, they're relaxed. No, they're not. Watch the horse's entire body. There is tension all over the place. Now we can build on this She may decide to calm down from here, but I'm guessing she's going to just go right back to having a fit again. The energy from the other horses does make a difference. But this particular horse, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. This particular horse, she doesn't really feed off of other horses' energy. It's just her and her mind. Like, she really doesn't care about the other horses. It's when there's a change in her environment at all. So last night, she stayed in a different area. She was out in my paddock with the overhang. It was different. She did not handle that well. This is different. She's not usually hanging out in the middle of my barn tied. It's different. I use this horse for lessons. She can go and stand in my arena for 2 hours and be pretty darn good. If there's no changes, she'll just sit there. She'll just stand there and eat hay and be totally content. But then you go changing a bunch of stuff, or like a lot of people are coming in and out, then she's like, well, what's going on? There's a lot of busyness happening. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta get out of here. How do I tell when she's mentally relaxed? She'll stop tugging on the rope. Her eyes will soften. Right now, her eyes are still kind of bugged out. She'll lick and chew in a relaxed manner, not in a tight manner. Like she's licking and chewing real quickly. That head shaking, that's tension. She'll stop going side to side. Thank you, Joanne. That's very nice of you. That's awesome. We got a $10 super chat. That's awesome. Thanks, Joanne. So, nope, she's not doing good yet. This is better. This is definitely an improvement. But you see that right there? She perked up her head real quick. I want her just to kind of stand here, maybe even get to the point where she wanted to nod off a little bit. So I'm going to sit here. This is horse training at its finest, you guys. This is the best quality horse training right here because it's the boring stuff that's important. That's what I mean by that, okay? So people think of horse training as, oh, yay, somebody's going to get on and the horse is going to buck and they're going to go fast and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. Nope. The best horse training you can find is the boring stuff where we just sit here and we wait on the horse. Does she know that I'm here close by? I mean, I'm only sitting 15 feet from her. Yeah, she knows I'm here, but that doesn't matter. Horses don't care about that. Oh, look, that's what, poop number 7? Yeah, horses are not attached to humans like a dog would be, okay? That's not how that works. They just care about how they feel, all right? So, yes, if I walk up and I rub her, she'll like that. That makes her feel good. But just my presence being here, that doesn't matter. See, now Deer, he's in the stall right next to her. He hates being in a stall with a passion. And I've worked on that with him for 5 years. He'll never be totally content with being in a stall. I'm pretty confident of that. Was much better. Did you guys see how she kind of lowered her head and she licked and her eyes softened? So that was good, but it's not what I'm really looking for. And we may not get, I'm trying not to set my expectations too high, but I know this horse and what she's capable of. And she's definitely capable of giving me a lot more than that. So I've become a lot more particular in what I'm looking for, okay? Because I used to just jump the gun, and as soon as I saw any kind of a positive change, we were out there. But the thing is you can't do that forever. You've got to build on it. So she understands, this horse understands that the way to get out of here is to, thank you, Lucy, that's awesome. Hey, Lucy, I want to tell you too, I did get a t-shirt sent to you, and you should be getting that within about 2 weeks. So I hope you like what I picked out for you. Okay, so yeah, you got to keep, if you don't continue to raise your expectations for this kind of stuff, they'll never get any better. They'll just kind of stay how they are. So like my puppy, for instance. My puppy, I can leave her in a kennel, and I know that she's going to be really, really good in her kennel for the first 15 minutes. And then she's probably going to cry a little bit. And we build on that. We build on it. I'm not going to leave her in her kennel all day long right now, but she does leave her in there until she's really quiet. And then let her out. Because let me tell you guys about my little dog that I used to have, who was like the love of my life. I adored her. But I taught that dog to be so, I accidentally taught that dog to be so dependent on me. If I left her in my car and walked away, she would sit and howl her head off the whole time I was gone. I don't want my little dog that I've got now to go through that kind of mental stress. There's no point to it. You know, and it's the same with my kids. If I tell my kids, I will be right back, I need you to stay right here. I want my kids to sit there. Thank you, Ashley. That is so nice of you. I want my kids to sit there and be fine with it and not be so worried that mommy just walked away. Oh my gosh, she's not with us. Exactly. We don't want the separation anxiety or anxiety of any sort to build up in these animals. But if we immediately cater to them when they show any kind of stress, we are only feeding the machine. Exactly, Angela. She is still just standing here thinking, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just going to stand here because this is what I'm supposed to do. She's not actually okay with this yet. I want her to be like, oh, sweet, all I have to do is stand here and take a little nap. Yep, and see how tight her lips are? She is not okay with this. I am actually quite pleased because Bear is standing, he was just standing at the hay bag eating. And that was awesome because Bear typically doesn't want to do that. He gets all wound up. And for Bear, he really does a lot better when there's somebody around. Like if Bear's having a hard time in a stall and I go in there with him, he quiets right down. But that's not what I want. I want him to be quiet no matter what. Bear feels comfortable with me, so if I'm physically in there with him, he feels better about that. That's better, Annabelle. That's a little better. There. But see, see that quick licking that she's doing? Ah, there you go, and it's followed by that. But, so this kind of stuff is the stuff that I've learned so much from these horses, and gosh, if this little horse never came into my life, it's crazy. You just can't go out and buy this kind of education. I have sat on a stool or a hay bale or a chair or just stood around the corner for I don't know how many hours waiting for stuff like this. So you guys, I want you to know though, if my phone should die, I think it's if my phone dies, that'll be it for today. And you guys are getting the idea, but I think we should be doing okay because I've got the charger on my phone. So I apologize if this shuts off, but that's kind of what I got going. So just know that I'm just gonna leave it. I won't try to do it again. I have a very special package coming today, so I'm out here waiting I'm gonna run back up and see if the mail came, and I'll tell you guys all about that in a later live stream. That's better. Oh, see, and it's so quick. So, and Annabelle's like this with everything she does. She'll get real worried about something, and you guys saw me ride her one day last week, I think it was, and she would get worried and rush in her trot, and her head would come up high. Okay, and I would just hold and wait. When I say I would hold, I meant I had gentle contact with my reins, but I was waiting for her to relax and give to that before I would give to her, okay? It's the exact same thing as when I'm in the saddle doing that we're working on right now. If her eyes would soften and she'd like relax and drop her head, right there she kind of rooted her nose out. And the wind, you guys, the wind that's blowing does make a difference too because it's noisy. So these horses, when they all first came in here, I pretty much let them all in here and then came on here to do this video. So they were a little bit more anxious at first, but now they've really calmed down a whole bunch. So that's good. Somebody's asking, how do I pick my battles as far as training animals? I don't start one that I can't finish. And somebody's asking me if I'm going to ride today. No, the snow is up to my rear end outside, and I can't get through anywhere. So riding today is not a priority. So a lot of people, the problem that they make is they get involved in something that they can't finish. And when I say this, I'm talking from my own personal experience. I have done it so many times. And I'm not willing. There's going to be times that I'm still going to do it because I simply don't know, or I don't have enough experience in a certain area, or a horse has an issue that I haven't dealt with before. And I'm going to keep learning, but I'm going to do my best to not make the same mistakes again. I'm sorry, guys, that I'm bobbing this camera all over. The cat is just all over me. So I'm going to try my hardest to not make the same mistakes. So Annabelle I've had her since 2012, and she was about 4 when I got her. So think about her. Now let's think about Manzer. Manzer was born here 11 months ago. There's all these things that I get to just totally bypass with Manzer because it'll never become a problem, okay? Yes, Nika, nope, that's Manzer in stall 3, Nika's in stall 4. They are getting to be very hard to tell apart. Would I do a Mustang tip challenge? No. No, because I don't train Mustangs. I've never worked with a Mustang, so I'm not somebody, I mean, they're a horse. I worked with plenty of horses, but I'm not a Mustang trainer. So I have no business giving tips on something that I'm not familiar with. That's why you guys will always see me do videos on my own footage, okay? You will not see me doing videos that I randomly find on YouTube or that other people send me that are not theirs. I don't believe in that. I have so much of my own stuff, my own personal stuff that I can show you guys. I don't need to go looking at other people's stuff. Now, if I start memberships, I will be doing sort of online lessons, but I will only be doing them when somebody sends me their own personal video. I will not go and search through other people's videos or look for bad things to critique. That is not my style. Yeah, she's definitely not nearly as agitated. She's calming down, but I want to see her look a little bit bored. In a good way. Somebody's asking, in warm weather, can you wash a horse with cold water? Yep, we only have cold water in our barn. There, her eyes softened. That was nice. Oh, that was a really good. The blinking. You guys see that soft blinking? So I'm going to walk up and pet her right now. That's all I'm going to offer is just a pet. Good girl. You see her get all like, oh, are you going to untie me? Are you going to untie me? And I'm like, no, I'm just here to pet you. And then I'm going to go back over. There, good girl. She just gets so worried. And I'm going to go back over to my stool and be boring again. And we'll see what she does. So I had a high line set up between my trees. And last year, did you see how nice and quiet she stayed when I walked away? She never moved. How awesome is that? I'm pretty proud of her. This is great. So, but anyway, my high line, oh, kitty, look out. No, 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 no. My high line was so beneficial because horses would just be tied and just standing there. And who knows how long we would have them there, but it's good for horses to just stand tied. If you look at them, when they're out in the pasture, they're usually just standing around. So what's the difference if they're just standing around in the pasture or if they're standing tied to a high line? They can still move their feet. They can put their head up and down. But a lot of people will see something like that and be like, oh, that's so mean that you leave that horse there for most of the day. It's so mean. It's not mean. It is not mean. Because you know what? When you go to a horse show or any kind of an event, your horse, a lot of times, they're standing at the trailer all day. Why not practice that stuff at home so when you go somewhere, your horse isn't completely losing their mind, stressing themselves out, and putting you at a huge risk for getting hurt. This is all good stuff. It's all mental. There's nothing physically difficult about a horse being tied to a high line for a few hours. It is no different than them just standing in the pasture, doing nothing, or wherever. The only difference is there's that rope that restricts where they go. They can still go, but it's restricting. And so it's a mental thing. But I have to stay right here. I don't want to stay right here. I want to go over there. There's nothing good about a stressed out horse. So the more we can do this kind of stuff, that's really nice. Yeah. And then she kind of went back to, I'm watching her eyes. And as her eyes change, it's when the head drops, the eyes soften, and the ears are no longer big, deep breaths are really good, even sneezing. But see, this horse is tricky, and I'll keep every chance that I get to video her, you guys, I will. She even cut her back leg from doing all of her nonsense, how she was holding her left leg up. She hit herself in the right hock with her left hoof, and she cut her leg doing this. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But Annabelle, she does all these things that would make you think, oh, now's the time. Now she's relaxed, when really, no, it's not at all. That's nice relaxed right there. You see that? I'm going to walk up and pet her again. Good girl, Annabelle. And you see her get all excited. She's like, oh, you're going to untie me. You're going to untie me. Yay, I know you are. Now, if you guys notice, the way I'm petting her, I rub. Horses like when you rub. Not when you do it real light, that tickles them. And they don't like, I'm going to do this just for demonstration purposes. But when you do this, if you watch a horse's eyes, a lot of times they get a little worried about that. But when you rub them, that is soothing. That's how it was when they were babies and their mom would lick them. Yeah, feels good, hey? Oh, Clover, you're so needy. Look out, kitty. You guys see how this is getting better, though? It's not perfect by any means. And you can't fix this crap in a day. This takes hours upon hours upon hours. Hello. Hi, kitty. See, now this is getting boring, and boring is good. Kimberly, you're asking about what can you do to make yourself a better rider even though you can't ride right now. Oh my gosh, there's so many things that you can do. And I need to find a way to get some of those videos out there for you to see, but working on your own self, your own balance is extremely beneficial. So even stuff like doing yoga right now is gonna help you. You know, and I spend a lot of time visualizing. So like the other day, we had, what day was it? Saturday was super nice here. It was like 50, 55 or something. It was beautiful. And we watered and drug the arena, and then I rode Nakona, and then I rode Blossom. And I visualized my ride before I even got to there. That is relaxation right there. That is beautiful. You see that? And then she goes right back to being a little bit tense, but she had it. That was great. Right there, that's nice. Good girl, Annabelle. So, but when I rode the other day, I just visualized everything that I was gonna do before I even did it, and I had a fabulous ride. And I feel like even when you're just grooming your horse, think about your ride and visualize your transitions and visualize your posting and all that different stuff. Think about it. Think about all the little details, and it just makes you better when you go to do it. You know, I have to thank you guys. I'm looking, and there's $49 today in Super Chats. And within about 2 weeks, I'll be able to either order my Pixio camera, the robot thingy, or a mic. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna get first. I'm still researching, but thank you guys so much for that. That's what all of that money goes towards, is me buying equipment that'll allow me to get you better quality content and more efficiently. Yeah, Tracy, I'm techie like that robot thingy. This is great. Hey guys, do you see the difference now? So if I had let this horse off this rope, put her back out to the pasture, fed her, done whatever, she would have been a nightmare to deal with. Now I have a super quiet horse. Like, this is great. This is great. Kevin, I have a camera. I have a really nice camera. I just don't have anything to edit videos on. So I'm working on the computer part too. So that's all, it's all coming together. That's great. So we have Ona install 1, standing there like a lovely little princess. Hey, she's doing such a good job, so quiet. Bear's install 2. He's not happy, but he's actually doing a really great job. Debbie, I'm glad you're calm now too. See, this stuff though is really stressful for some people. Oh my gosh, this is so hard for a lot of people. Stall 3 is Manzer. Stall 4 is Nika, and then Muffins in 5. But this is great. Annabelle standing there so good. What a good girl. But this just goes to show you, though, how easy it is to teach a horse something. We can teach them the wrong thing, and we can teach them the right thing. And it's just all in a matter of how they're being handled. That's why I'm so fussy about my horses. I don't like anyone to handle my horses without my permission, and I prefer my supervision. I do all the handling of my horses because these little tiny details mean so much to all of them. Now, I'm going to make up her grain. I think the first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to untie her. I didn't think this part through, but what I would love to be able to do... Oh, Nika. My goodness. If you're just tuning in, you're going to have to go back and watch the beginning because it was really, really important stuff. So I can't just explain to you right now as to what's going on. Tracy, I teach every single rider that comes through my program every little teachable thing that I can. My goal is to have riders who are independent, and I'm teaching every single one of my students how to train a horse. So I'm not only thinking about what that rider is going to gain from me that day, I am thinking about what every horse that person... Nika, stop interrupting me. I'm thinking about every horse that person touches is going to learn from what we worked on that day. Okay? So I take it way deeper than just teaching somebody how to ride. I am teaching them how to be with horses, how to deal with them, how to do everything I can. Yeah, I'm really happy with Annabelle right now. Okay, so let's see if I can figure this out. You know what? I'm going to unplug. Shoot, I don't know if I should. All right, guys, I might lose you. Whoops, sorry. So I'm going to put you over here. And I apologize if I lose you guys. And like I said, if I lose you, that's it for the day. But I'm going to get Annabelle and give her... Oh my! Everybody is just throwing a fit. Good girl. You see how I asked her to go around me instead of bumping into me? I don't like when she does that, so I'm going to do that again because she's all in a big hurry now to go over there because she knows Grain is over there. So we're just going to do a little groundwork. Now, I need to be able to scoop grain, hold grain in my hand, and do whatever I have to do without my horse trying to jerk it out of my hand. So I'll stand here and I'll hold on to grain, and my horse has got to just chill out. They're not allowed to come and take it from me. That is not okay. They got to just stand here and deal with it. I'm going to give her the rest of her supplements because that's just one part of it. plug you back in here. Bear is not freaking out. You have not seen freak out. That is nothing. Bear is 9,000 times better about being in a stall than he used to be. He was the worst one I had ever seen to date. Still is. Worst horse I've ever had in a stall. So Annabelle's all happy. So sometimes when I come out here to feed horses, it takes me way too long because I have to work through things, okay? I don't like when I don't have the time. So I try to be super careful what I get involved in because I don't have the ability to just let it go. When I have to walk away and leave a horse in a mental state that I don't like them to be in, I have a really hard time dealing with that. Whoops. Annabelle, you gotta chew better. Whoops. What horse do I use for people who are just learning? Annabelle's one of them. It just depends on the size of the person. I got a lot of different horses that I use. Depends on how big the rider is. Depends on if they're on a lunge line or not on a lunge line or how that works. Or in the round pen or not in the round pen. With a group, not with a group. Too many variables. Okay, so I'm going to go in with Bear, and I'm going to turn him out. Rosie is out in the pasture with the other horses. I have, someone just asked how many horses I have. I have 14 horses and a mule. Someone just asked if I've ever done a day in my life vlog. This is a day in my life. You're seeing it. This is what it is. That's with these live streams. That's the thing that I was kind of excited to share with everybody is we just don't know what exactly is going to happen. So somebody had asked me if I could do like a syllabus as to what I was going to be discussing and all that, and I'm like, no. I have to just do what is going to come up that day. That's not how I work. Oh my gosh, Nika. She's so upset. Okay, so I'm going to put Bear, look at Bear. He's like, come on. You see him too? He does the same thing. He'll like stare at you and wait. All right, here, why don't you get down? Let's go we'll let Bear and Manzer out first. Hey, Bear. Let's see. Oh, hi, Bear. How's it going, buddy? And he only pooped, it looks like, once in here. That's a big deal. Bear likes to poop a whole bunch. Somebody's asking do I have a stall mucker? Like somebody that mucks my stalls? Thanks, Jean. That's awesome. Jean just super chatted 20 bucks. Bear's like, where is everybody? Oh my gosh. And the sun is shining now, so that's really great. It was not sunny earlier, so. Stella, what are you doing there? No, you get. Stella, get out. Get out. Stella, get. Barry's gonna get you. Get out. Okay, on to the next one. Where are you going, Annabelle? You should eat your grain. Annabelle, she's 12-ish. I got her in 2012. She was 4. She was supposed to be 4. I really don't know if she was 4. Because she's man. Oh, sorry. There you go, buddy. Go play with Bear. These guys are just going to stay over here for a little while. I'll put them all back out in the herd later. And a lot of people too are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you let your horse step on their lead rope. Yep, I sure do. And you know what? They learn very quickly not to step on their lead rope. Do some of my horses pick up bad habits from other horses? Not really. Bad habits come from humans. Have I ever found ticks on my horses? Sure have. I think the most I ever pulled out of a tail was like 17 at once. That's where they like to go as their tail. Oh, Katie, you're just chiming in. Annabelle was shivering. So she has shed a lot of her winter coat already. So Annabelle is wearing Miss Katie's blanket. Nika is really thinking that she needs to be out there right now. So she's gonna, do you think I'm gonna put her out right now? Nope, she is not going out yet because she needs to calm down. And then there's Muffin, who just always stands perfectly quiet. She's such a good girl. Yep, Nika's making all the noise. But you guys see how she's just kind of navigating around that lead rope and stepping on it? She's dragging it through the poop and everything right now, but this horse will not pull back when tied. See right there? She's standing right on that lead rope, and she figured out how to release the pressure on her own. So, but when people are like, oh my gosh, you can't ever let them step on a lead rope ever. No, let them wander around with the lead rope. Sure, when you're next to them and they step on it, you need to make sure that you get out of the way, but be aware of that kind of stuff. But in general, I let my horses get used to this sort of thing. It's good for them. But there's, you got to be paying attention when you're leading them and doing all kinds of stuff like that. You don't want to just let them randomly step on their lead rope or whatever. So, but this is different. Okay, so Annabelle is going to go back out now. So let's see. I'm going to attempt to do this. Whoops. See, I only made it 2 feet and I dropped the lead rope. No. You see how he came over and he was going to plow me right over? So I have to block myself here. No. This is where, no, I will not tolerate this. So my hand will come up and I will not let him plow me over. He is not allowed to come in here and plow me over. And of course I left that door open behind me. I should have shut it. Oh, the cat just got bumped. Come on out, Annabelle, hurry it up. There. But I just have to watch myself. I do not want to get in the middle. My goodness. You guys still with me? Are you bored out of your minds yet? Somebody's asking me about leather halter versus rope halter. I did a live video all about halters the other day, so I would recommend going and watching that. You can find it in my live stream playlist. All right, Ona. Hey girl, are you ready? It's a good girl. Oh, she's shedding. Wow. I need to brush you. Excuse me. She's so polite. Oh. Don't know if I'm going to get this open. All right, Mr. Manzer's going to be right here wanting to come in. Everybody's going to be here wanting to come in. Get. And the good thing is Ona's pretty quiet and isn't in a big hurry to come out. So as soon as these guys walk away, get. Get. There we go. No, you cannot come in. I will not let him pull me over. This is how it starts right from the beginning. This is how a horse learns how to run somebody over. When they sit there and try to figure out a way, I am not going to let him run me over. If he were to blow by me and get into this stall, I would just be teaching him how to, they're bumping it. I would be teaching him how to run the human over, and he would think that for the rest of his life, he would think that that's okay. Really hard. So do not let your, okay. Nika's doing a little better in there. How you doing, honey? Can you deal with life? Excuse me. You are not going to run me over either. Get out. Get. Okay, there. Muffin, are you banging on the door now? Why do they want to come in? They want to come in, they're all excited about each other. Mostly Manzer excited to see his mom. So that's why everybody was so excited. The weather's got them all a little bit crazy. I'm gonna roll up this door here and you guys can see what it's like outside. Let's see here. that's great. Annabelle's got herself stuck in the corner there. She fell off like an ice berm. We got a lot of snow. We got 2 feet of snow last night. We had a big storm last night. I'll show you door. Now I got a great big mess to clean. Yeah. We got a little snow. It is legit up to my rear end in some areas. So yes, there is a lot of drifting, but there's also a lot of actual snow that has come down. So in our yard where we turn the puppy out to use the potty, I had to shovel an area just so I could take her out. I did that last night, and I had to shovel the same area again today, and there was a solid 2 feet of snow there. Somebody's asking when... Kevin, we got 2 feet of snow in 12 hours. So Kevin said, 2 feet of snow, that's not bad. Yeah, we already had like 6-foot snowbanks, and then we added 2 feet on top of it. Now the sun is out though, that's beautiful. If the wind would just stop, it'd be great. But everybody's doing really good. So, and then somebody was asking about Annabelle getting along with the other horses. Well, you can see how deep that snow is right there. That was all a trail that they could walk on yesterday. And it's up to her blanket. The other horses are not going to bother Annabelle because Annabelle never runs from other horses. So the reason that it was such a problem for Miss Kitty is because she actually ran from the other horses. So that's why they all had such an issue with it. But see, Annabelle's just having a hard time like being in a different area. She's like, I want to go back to my pasture with my herd. You know, this is difficult for her. And she's got to make stuff complicated. Look at that. Oh my gosh, Annabelle. You dork. Big meanies. All right, guys, I gotta go check and see if my package is here. Waiting for something. They'll never get in our driveway, so I gotta get it as soon as it comes. So, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. Nika's going after Annabelle with that blanket on. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so's Bear. Oh, yeah, and they're all gonna rip it. That's great.